here's the crazy truth nobody's really talking about. Everyone's out there chasing the next shiny AI token, hyping up whatever pops on X for a week, but nobody's asking the real trillion-dollar question. Where is all that AI data actually going to live? Think about it. Every prompt, every image, every model, every byte the AI spits out needs to be stored somewhere. And that somewhere is running out faster than people realize. The AI boom didn't just create smarter machines, it created an unstoppable flood of data that's eating the internet alive. Right now, companies are throwing billions at GPUs, at cloud servers, at fancy buzzwords like scalable inference, but under the surface, there's a storm building, a data storm. We're talking zettabytes of information every single year. It's not just ChatGPT answers or mid-journey pictures. It's the backbone of the new digital world. And the real winners? They won't be the ones training the models. They'll be the ones holding the data those models depend on. Because storage is power. Whoever controls the world's data controls the future of AI. And the scary part is, we're already hitting the wall. Centralized clouds like AWS and Google can't keep up. They're built for yesterday's internet, not tomorrow's. The cost per terabyte is exploding, servers are overheating, and latency is killing the very speed AI needs. Big tech won't say it out loud, but behind closed doors, they know they're hitting their limit. Now, picture this. Every major AI lab is burning through petabytes daily, storing raw data sets to train machines to mimic human intelligence. That's billions of gigabytes every single day. And most of it sits on centralized systems that could crash, censor, or fail any time. One major outage, and entire AI pipelines freeze. That's not just inconvenient. That's catastrophic for a digital economy that now depends on these models for everything from finance to defense. So here's where things get real. A handful of engineers, far away from Silicon Valley noise, started building something different. Not another AI model, but the missing layer beneath it. They asked a simple but world-changing question. What if storage could be decentralized, infinite, and immune to control? What if the future of AI didn't depend on Amazon or Google, but on a network owned by the people who use it? And that's where the story shifts. Because while most investors are still betting on flashy AI tokens that pump and dump every other week, one project has been quietly rewriting the entire storage game. It doesn't scream hype, it builds infrastructure. While others chase clout, it's laying cables for the next internet. You might have heard the name in passing, Filecoin, but you've never seen it like this. See, Filecoin isn't just another crypto storage coin. It's becoming the backbone of what the AI era actually needs. Raw, decentralized, high-efficiency data capacity. Every time you feed an AI model, that model's dataset could one day be stored, verified, and delivered through Filecoin's network. Imagine a world where AI data doesn't live in one corporate vault, but across millions of distributed nodes. Cheaper, faster, and censorship-free. That's not just cool tech, that's revolution-level disruption. And while retail investors scroll past it, the numbers are already insane. The total global data volume is set to hit over 180 zettabytes by 2025. To put that in perspective, that's like stacking every smartphone ever made from Earth to the moon twice. The world's storage demand is exploding, but the supply curve? Flatlining. Centralized providers can't expand fast enough. Energy, regulation, cost, all massive roadblocks. That imbalance creates pressure, and pressure creates opportunity. This is the part where smart investors start connecting the dots. The entire AI industry is about to realize that storage is the new oil. Everyone's looking at GPUs, but the bottleneck is space, not compute. You can rent a GPU. You can't fake scalable, secure, decentralized storage at global scale. And when that realization hits, it won't be a slow move. It'll be a tidal wave. Let's be real. This is exactly how the early internet shifts looked. Back in the 90s, people thought servers were boring until AWS made billions renting them out. Now, we're at the same turning point, but for decentralized storage. Filecoin is positioning itself to become the AWS of Web3, except this time it's open, transparent, and built for the AI generation. And here's the FOMO kicker. Nobody's pricing this in yet. The AI narrative is loud, but the infrastructure narrative is quiet. And that's exactly how big plays start. When everyone's distracted by the noise, the real money moves into the foundation. We've seen it before with Ethereum before DeFi, with Bitcoin before institutions, and we're seeing it again, this time with Filecoin before the data war begins. So, the next time you see another AI coin trending on X, ask yourself, is it actually powering AI or just selling the story? Because the one powering it for real, the one solving the hidden bottleneck everyone else is ignoring, might already be in front of you. And here's where it gets even more interesting. The world's biggest financial players are starting to sniff around the data layer. Wall Street loves two things: scarcity and necessity. Filecoin has both. Scarcity because supply growth is limited and tied to real-world storage deals. Necessity because AI can't exist without data storage. That's a double-barreled setup waiting to explode. The clock is ticking. Every day that passes, AI models grow bigger, the data grows heavier, and the need for decentralized storage grows more urgent. The question isn't if the world will need a network like Filecoin, it's when they'll realize they already do. And here's the twist. While everyone's watching price charts, the real play is happening quietly in partnerships, infrastructure scaling, and developer adoption. You'll want to see what's coming next because this story doesn't end here. It's just getting started. Because the project that's solving this hidden crisis while Wall Street still sleeps is about to shock everyone. And that leads us straight into the next chapter, the Filecoin awakening.
Yo, real talk. Most people still think Filecoin's just that old storage coin sitting somewhere on page 2 of CoinMarketCap. But what if I told you that same project is quietly evolving into something way bigger, something the entire AI industry is going to depend on before this decade's out? It's not just a crypto anymore. It's turning into the AI cloud for Web3. Yeah, sounds wild, but stay with me, because once you see what's happening under the hood, you'll realize this ain't hype. It's history in the making. Here's the thing. While every influencer's chasing the next AI meme token, Filecoin's been grinding, shipping real infrastructure updates that actually matter. The network's rolling out AI-ready nodes designed for data retrieval at machine speed. Think about that for a sec. AI models live and die on data access. If they can't fetch it fast enough, the whole operation stalls. Filecoin's solving that bottleneck with retrieval markets built to deliver verified data anywhere, anytime. That's not speculation, that's engineering. And here's where it gets spicy. Those AI-ready nodes, they're not just storage. They're becoming compute endpoints. Developers can now run decentralized tasks right where the data sits, cutting latency and cost by ridiculous margins. Imagine OpenAI's compute layer, but distributed across thousands of independent providers who earn fill for serving AI workloads. That's not some 2030 dream. That's code being tested right now. So picture this. An AI model requests a massive dataset. Instead of pulling from some centralized cloud, it taps into Filecoin's decentralized web. Nodes verify, deliver, and get paid instantly. No middlemen, no censorship, no single point of failure. It's the same reliability big tech promises, but without the chokehold. That's why early AI startups are starting to plug into Filecoin's stack. They get cheaper storage, higher redundancy, and full transparency baked in. Now, you probably haven't heard these names yet, because the biggest partnerships aren't coming with marketing noise. They're coming through quiet integration commits, GitHub pushes, and early pilot programs. In 2025 alone, several AI-driven data training platforms have begun experimenting with FIL-based retrieval. We're talking real-world use, fine-tuning vision models, storing multi-terabyte datasets, even decentralized indexing for machine learning libraries. This is what a paradigm shift looks like before mainstream even notices. Meanwhile, the ecosystem around Filecoin is exploding. Think DePIN meets AI, projects building Layer 2 compute, decentralized GPUs, and cross-chain data oracles. The whole thing is morphing into a new kind of cloud, one owned by users, powered by tokens, and secured by math. That's the Web3 AI cloud. It's not marketing fluff, it's what happens when storage, compute, and economy converge. And here's where the emotion kicks in. Because if you've been in crypto long enough, you know this feeling. The moment when a project everyone ignored suddenly wakes up. It's 2017 Ethereum vibes all over again. You look back 6 months later and realize it wasn't noise, it was the foundation of a new market cycle. Filecoin's in that exact pocket right now. Undervalued, under the radar, but absolutely critical to what's coming next. Look at the signals. Network capacity scaling. Active deals are hitting new highs. Developers who used to build on AWS are quietly testing decentralized APIs. And you know what that means? Adoption's happening before speculation catches up. The tech is running ahead of the price, a setup that usually ends one way, vertical. But let's get real. This awakening isn't just about fancy updates or new integrations, it's about control. For years, big tech owned the internet's memory. Now, for the first time, users can own the infrastructure that AI depends on. That's power flipping from corporations to communities. It's bigger than crypto. It's digital independence. Imagine 5 years from now, every major AI model, finance bots, healthcare assistants, autonomous systems, pulling data through Filecoin's network. Billions of microtransactions flowing 24/7, each one paying a node somewhere on the planet. That's not a token pump, that's an economy. And if you're holding FIL, you're holding a piece of the world's most valuable resource, verified data. The US audience gets this faster than most. We've seen cloud monopolies rise and crash before. We know what happens when one system owns all the data, it turns innovation into rent. Filecoin flips that model. It says, nah, let's decentralize the backbone of AI before it becomes another weapon for control. And that message, it's hitting home with developers, privacy advocates, and yes, even some of those Wall Street guys who swore crypto was dead. Here's a little FOMO truth bomb. This moment right here, it's the calm before the blast. The metrics look quiet, the headlines are small, but insiders are already positioning. They're reading the same white papers, seeing the same testnets, watching the same GitHub activity spikes. They know that when the AI narrative fuses with decentralized infrastructure, everything else looks outdated overnight. So, if you're watching this right now, understand, this isn't financial advice, it's foresight. The infrastructure that powers AI is the gold rush of this decade, and Filecoin's building the rails before the train even leaves the station. That's why early movers are whispering while everyone else is yelling about meme coins. You want to be where the noise isn't because that's where the real money starts. But still, we're only scratching the surface here. The real plot twist is it's not just developers or startups jumping in, it's the whales, the deep pocket investors, the funds, the entities that move silently until it's too late for retail to catch up. They're watching Filecoin's evolution closely, tracking every upgrade, every supply curve change, every signal that screams institutional ready. And if history repeats, they're going to move all at once, because once the tech narrative aligns with capital flow, that's when charts go vertical and headlines change from nobody cares to everyone's buying. You don't want to be reading that headline. You want to be ahead of it. So, here's your heads up. The tech is awakening, the infrastructure is ready, and the market's sleeping. But something's brewing under the surface, something the whales already sense. Because the next stage of the story isn't about code or storage, it's about capital. And that's where things get wild. Because the people who move billions don't chase hype, they chase inevitability. And right now, they see it forming in one word: Filecoin. Stick around, because in the next part, we're diving into the moves that'll make headlines soon, the whale accumulation nobody's talking about yet.
Bro, picture this. Wall Street whales are whisper quiet, but their wallets, they're screaming. The charts don't lie. The biggest money in the room is sliding heavy into Filecoin, while the rest of the market's still chasing meme hype. You can call it luck. I call it a setup, because when smart money moves before headlines, that's when generational plays are born. And right now, FIL's on their radar, hard. See, the average retail trader is busy FOMOing into whatever's pumping on Twitter today, but the whales, they've been reading the blockchain like a playbook. Every on-chain trace tells the same story: quiet accumulation, slow but steady. It's the same move we saw before Solana's 100x run, before Chainlink blew up.
They load up when no one's watching, and when the news finally hits, they're already 10 steps ahead, cashing out while the crowd rushes in. And here's the kicker: the data doesn't lie. Since Q3 2025, FIL's been bleeding off exchanges, not a panic dump, a drain. Wallets tied to institutional custodians, VC-linked entities, and a few suspiciously AI-focused funds have been moving massive FIL stacks off exchanges into cold storage. You don't do that when you're looking to trade. You do that when you're looking to own. Now check this. Staking has exploded too. Locked FIL supply is up, circulating liquidity is dropping, and that's the recipe for a supply crunch in motion. What happens when AI hype peaks and the world realizes decentralized storage is the real infrastructure play? Boom! Demand shock meets thin liquidity. That's when prices don't rise slowly, they rip. But this isn't just numbers and metrics, bro. This is sentiment. The big dogs feel something's coming. You can see it in the derivative data. Open interest on FIL perpetuals has spiked with barely any social chatter. That's a tell. Smart money's gearing up while keeping the crowd distracted with shiny new coins. Now here's where it gets wild. The whale wallets aren't just big, they're strategic. We're talking patterns that match early Coinbase Ventures wallets, Grayscale affiliated addresses, and yes, even some government-linked clusters that used to hold Ethereum in the early 2020s. They've been testing the waters, spreading accumulation across multiple layers of Filecoin's ecosystem. Storage providers, retrieval miners, even some AI data pipeline startups built on FIL infrastructure. That's not speculation, that's preparation. It's almost poetic, man. Retail traders are obsessed with the next AI coin, while the real players are buying the data layer, the thing every AI model needs to breathe. Think about it. What good is AI without massive, secure, decentralized storage? It's like building a skyscraper with no foundation. And the whales? They're laying bricks in silence. And when you dig deeper into whale behavior, the timing gets suspiciously perfect. Every time the market dips, FIL wallets spike in inflows. Every time some AI meme token pumps, whales use it as cover to stack FIL cheaper. It's surgical. They're building positions while everyone else scrolls past the opportunity of the year. But you know what gives it away completely? The shift in liquidity hubs. Singapore, Dubai, and New York desks that used to trade Bitcoin and Ethereum are quietly setting up FIL pairs. That doesn't happen unless institutional demand is already written in the books. This isn't about maybe someday. This is happening now. So, the real question isn't whether Filecoin's gonna pump, it's when they decide to flip the switch. Because right now, everything's aligning. On-chain activity, whale movements, supply compression, and global AI adoption, like a fuse leading to something explosive. You can feel it. It's like the calm before the detonation. And if history's any guide, you already know how this movie ends. The whales fill their bags, the crowd wakes up too late, and the price chart looks like a rocket. Only this time, it's not a meme token. It's the backbone of AI data itself. But here's the twist, and this is where things start to get crazy. The whales might not be doing this alone. Because the next chapter, it's not just private money loading up. There's talk, real talk, that the US government could actually help Filecoin next. And that's when everything changes. Stay locked in, because Outline 4 is where it gets political, strategic, and absolutely wild.
Sounds crazy, right? America, the same country that built Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, might actually need Filecoin. Yeah, that sounds like a wild take until you look under the hood of what's happening right now. The US isn't just talking about data anymore, it's fighting wars over it. And every piece of AI data, every model, every byte of training info is now a matter of national power. That's why the game is changing fast, and decentralized storage is suddenly becoming a national interest. Here's what most people don't realize. The US has a data problem, a massive one. The government wants transparency in AI systems. They want privacy protection for citizens. And they want localization so critical data doesn't end up on Chinese or Russian servers. But here's the catch. Centralized storage giants can't deliver that balance anymore. They're too big, too exposed, too easily compromised. AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, all brilliant, but all single points of failure in a world that's no longer safe for centralization. And this is where Filecoin sneaks in from the shadows. It's not just a crypto project. It's an architecture, a new infrastructure that's built for what America now needs most: transparent, verifiable, and distributed data systems. Imagine this. Instead of the US government storing sensitive AI data in one mega data center, they could spread it across thousands of independent nodes, each verified, encrypted, and auditable on-chain. That's military-grade resilience, and Filecoin already does that. Here's what makes it even crazier: the timing. Washington has been cracking down on AI models that hide their data sources. New bills are coming out pushing for AI transparency and provenance tracking, meaning every data source needs to be traceable. Guess who already built that tech? Filecoin. Its retrieval markets and verifiable storage proofs literally show where data lives, how long it's stored, and whether it's ever been altered. That's not a dream. That's law-grade accountability built into the protocol. Now, think about the political pressure too. After years of leaks, hacks, and foreign breaches, the US is realizing that data sovereignty isn't just about privacy, it's about survival. And they can't just trust the same old Silicon Valley giants who answer to shareholders, not the Constitution. So when you start hearing policymakers talking about trusted decentralized frameworks, that's your signal. They're hinting at blockchain infrastructure without even saying it. And Filecoin? It's already making itself look government-friendly. They've been working on energy efficiency updates, carbon offset programs, and compliance narratives that align perfectly with US green policy goals. You think that's coincidence? No chance. That's strategic positioning. They're setting themselves up as the safe decentralized choice, the one that Washington can endorse without political backlash. Let's not forget, the US military has a long history of adopting disruptive tech before the public ever realizes it. GPS, internet, both started as defense projects. Now imagine what happens if a few DARPA or NASA contracts quietly test Filecoin-based storage for AI research or space data redundancy. Once that happens, the legitimacy floodgates open. Every enterprise, every government partner, every university will follow. But here's where it gets even deeper. The US economy needs new infrastructure narratives right now. The dollar's under pressure. AI is exploding and tech manufacturing is moving offshore. Washington's desperate for something made in America's digital frontier. Filecoin's decentralized ecosystem, with nodes distributed globally but governed by transparent open-source standards, fits that story perfectly. It gives the US a way to reclaim control of the digital backbone without starting from zero. And here's what will shock most people. The US doesn't have to buy Filecoin or even endorse it publicly to benefit from it. All they need is integration. A few federal research programs, a few compliant partners, and boom, overnight, Filecoin becomes part of the invisible infrastructure behind the next generation of AI data security. That's how adoption happens, quietly, system by system, contract by contract. Now, imagine what that means for the market. If the US even hints at Filecoin's potential alignment with regulatory goals, the narrative alone could ignite a full-blown AI storage boom. Institutional capital will pile in, retail will follow, and every analyst who ignored decentralized storage will suddenly call it the next AWS moment. Because when the world's biggest government realizes it needs decentralized power, the floodgates open, fast. But here's the real FOMO moment, and this is where your mind should start racing. If the tech's ready, if the whales are already in, and if the US government is circling the idea, what's stopping it from blowing up right now? There's a reason it hasn't fully taken off yet, and that reason might be the final catalyst we've all been waiting for, because the one thing standing between Filecoin and full-scale global adoption isn't tech, isn't regulation, it's something far bigger.
And that's exactly what we'll uncover next in Outline 5. Stay with me. It's about to get intense.
Every bull run has that one moment, the Ethereum moment, the point where a project stops being just another token and becomes the backbone of a whole new cycle. And for 2025, that moment might just belong to Filecoin. Sounds bold? Wait till you see the math, because under the surface, a silent supply shock is brewing, and almost no one's paying attention. See, everyone's talking about AI demand, about data growth, about new partnerships, but the real story isn't about hype, it's about scarcity. And Filecoin's supply mechanics are setting up something we haven't seen since early Ethereum, a perfect storm of limited supply meeting unstoppable demand. Let's break it down. Most people think Filecoin's supply is infinite, like some old-school altcoin just inflating forever. Wrong. Filecoin's emissions are on a strict curve, and it's tightening every month. Miners earn less FIL as the network matures, and a growing share of rewards gets locked up in long-term storage deals. That means fewer tokens actually hit the market. Combine that with a burn mechanism that's quietly eating away at the supply, and suddenly the math starts to look explosive. Now picture this. Hundreds of AI startups, data labs, and decentralized compute projects are starting to use Filecoin for large-scale data hosting. Every time they upload data, tokens get locked into contracts that last months, even years. Those FIL coins don't move. They're effectively gone from circulation. Add to that the number of whales staking, institutions holding cold wallets, and everyday users storing data, you get a liquidity squeeze that no one's ready for. It's like watching a dam fill up from the inside while the world's focused on the rain. The pressure's building quietly until one day it's too late, and the breakout happens. Look at the on-chain data. Exchange balances are down, new addresses holding FIL are up, and yet trading volumes remain moderate. That's the setup for something big. It's exactly what we saw with Ethereum before it ran from $300 to $4,000. The supply got trapped while demand kept stacking. Then the price just snapped. And that's what's crazy about Filecoin right now. It's not even in price discovery yet. The current market's treating it like a utility token, while the underlying fundamentals are behaving like digital real estate. Because in the AI world, data storage isn't just a service, it's land. And every terabyte locked on Filecoin is like a digital property deed. Once people realize that, the value proposition changes overnight. Now let's talk numbers, because this part is wild. Simulations from blockchain analysts show that if AI-driven storage demand grows just 30% year over year and Filecoin supply continues to tighten at its current pace, we could see available circulating FIL drop by nearly 40% by mid-2026. That's a compression model the market hasn't priced in yet. And when the market wakes up, it won't move slowly. It never does. Think of it this way. You can hype up meme coins, you can speculate on narratives, but when fundamentals and scarcity line up this cleanly, it's not a maybe, it's an inevitable ignition. And it's not just tokenomics, it's sentiment too. Whales aren't selling, miners aren't dumping, and developers are building harder than ever. You've got all the ingredients for a breakout: low liquidity, long-term lockups, and an incoming demand wave powered by AI and enterprise adoption. But the real kicker, the thing that'll blow everyone's mind, is that this isn't even being driven by speculation. It's driven by usage. Every day, new data is uploaded, locked, and stored. The more the network grows, the tighter the available float gets. It's a self-reinforcing loop. More storage demand means less liquid supply, which means higher prices, which attracts more users, which leads to more demand. That's not hype. That's economics. Now here's where the emotional punch hits. Imagine being one of the few people who actually saw it coming. Everyone else was chasing short-term pumps, but you understood the bigger picture, that AI doesn't just need compute power, it needs massive decentralized storage, and Filecoin's sitting right at the center of that revolution. That's the kind of conviction that separates investors from tourists. Because when the supply shock hits, it won't make headlines first. It'll show up in the price. Slowly, subtly, then suddenly. That's how every major crypto breakout begins. And once it does, the crowd will come rushing in screaming, "I knew it!" while the early believers quietly watch their positions turn into generational plays. And here's where the curiosity twist hits. This whole setup, this potential Ethereum moment for Filecoin might not even be the biggest opportunity here. Because while everyone's waiting for the price to explode, the real game, the one that could make the biggest winners, starts after the boom. That's right, the most powerful shift isn't what happens during the pump, it's what happens after. When the world realizes that AI, data, and decentralized storage aren't separate industries anymore, they're merging into one unstoppable ecosystem. So if you think this supply shock is wild, wait till you see what comes next. Because in the final part, we're not just talking numbers or charts, we're talking about the future of the entire Web3 data economy. And that's where the next fortune will be made. Buckle up. Outline 6 is where everything connects.
5 years from now, when AI runs everything, when algorithms write code, design cities, cure diseases, and even predict your next move, the backbone holding it all together won't be Google Cloud or AWS or some trillion-dollar data giant. It'll be something quieter, something decentralized, something built by the people who saw this moment coming before anyone else. And the coin powering it all might just be Filecoin. Now, that sounds dramatic, right? But here's the truth. Every massive tech shift in history had its hidden infrastructure winner. The internet had Cisco. The cloud had AWS. The crypto boom had Ethereum. And this new era, the AI plus Web3 fusion era, is going to have Filecoin. Because we're not just talking about data anymore. We're talking about ownership of that data. See, AI is only as powerful as the information it runs on, but that information has to live somewhere, securely, transparently, and at scale. Centralized servers can't keep up anymore. They're expensive, fragile, and honestly outdated. That's where Filecoin steps in, turning global data into a decentralized network where anyone can store, retrieve, and verify information on-chain. It's not science fiction anymore. It's the infrastructure layer for the AI revolution. Let's get real. AI is already merging with everything, from finance to defense to art. But all that power creates one massive problem: storage overload. Every AI model is hungry for more datasets, more simulations, more retraining. And guess who's feeding it? Not Google, not Microsoft. It's the decentralized networks like Filecoin and the new wave of DePIN projects that are rebuilding the internet's foundation from scratch. Here's the wild part. This isn't just about storing data, it's about building an entire economy on top of it. Picture this. AI agents paying FIL automatically to store their learned models. Autonomous data markets where information itself is tokenized and traded. Compute, storage, bandwidth, all running peer-to-peer, fully decentralized and powered by tokens like Filecoin. That's not a dream. It's the next phase of Web3, already unfolding in real time. And that's why people are calling this the golden era of Web3 data, because for the first time, data itself is becoming money. Every byte has value, every storage contract is a yield opportunity, and every node becomes a potential AI bank. Filecoin isn't just storing information anymore, it's securing the future of intelligence itself. Now think about the FIL ecosystem in 2026 and beyond. Staking models will evolve. New DeFi protocols will use FIL as collateral. Layer 2s will emerge built entirely on Filecoin infrastructure, optimizing for faster retrieval and compute integration. You'll see tokens launching on top of it, data DAOs, retrieval incentives, AI-specific data vaults, all powered by FIL under the hood. It's the same evolution we saw with Ethereum, only this time the base layer is storage, not smart contracts. And here's the big money angle. Decentralized storage isn't just a niche, it's the foundation of AI reliability. Every time an AI startup raises capital, it has to decide where to store its models. If that model can't be verified or tamper-proof, it loses value. That's where Filecoin becomes the standard, not because it's trendy, but because it's necessary. The AI boom is fueling a data explosion, and only decentralized storage can scale fast enough to handle it. Now let's get into what this means for investors, builders, and anyone watching this right now. You're not early to crypto anymore. That era is over. But you are early to the new economy, where data equals currency. The infrastructure for that economy is being laid down right now in real time under the Filecoin ecosystem. And when that foundation solidifies, the world's biggest corporations and AI labs will have no choice but to build on it. Think about the alignment. AI provides the intelligence, DePIN provides the physical infrastructure, and Filecoin provides the storage backbone. Three narratives merging into one unstoppable wave. That's the real convergence. Not hype, not speculation, just cold, unstoppable technological evolution. Now, let's talk emotion for a second, because you can feel it, right? That quiet sense that something massive is shifting under the surface? For years, people laughed at decentralized storage, said it was too slow, too niche, too complex. But now, the world's most powerful tech industry, AI, is running headfirst into the same walls decentralization was built to break. And Filecoin is standing there like, took you long enough. This isn't just an investment story anymore. It's a legacy story. The kind of narrative that 5 years from now, people will look back on and say, I wish I paid attention when it was still under the radar. Because when the AI models of tomorrow are all running on decentralized storage, today's Filecoin will look like Ethereum at $20. So let's pull it all together. You've seen how the AI data explosion started. You've seen how whales moved early. You've seen the US inch closer to regulation that could favor decentralized infrastructure. You've seen the supply shock forming, ready to unleash chaos when demand collides with scarcity. And now you see the bigger picture, the why behind it all. Because this isn't just about one coin pumping, it's about the shift from centralized control to distributed power, from renting your data to owning it, from trusting servers to trusting math. That's the Web3 data revolution, and Filecoin sitting right at the center of it. So here's the truth. AI needs storage. Filecoin delivers, and the window to act is right now. The next digital gold rush won't be about mining coins or trading memes. It'll be about securing the world's intelligence, 1 terabyte at a time. And when that moment hits, you'll either be watching from the sidelines or already sitting on the backbone of the future. The choice is yours.